Hi, Deaney here. In this tutorial, we are going to make our organza poppy. By the way, this is Deaney. I am the maker, designer, and creative behind Deaney Blooms. The best thing with this one is it shares the same template as our organza peony or peony. This large template is just the same as this one. With this template, which is available in our website and Etsy shop, you can make, as of the moment, 2 flowers or 2 organza flowers. Anyway, I won't keep you, so let's go ahead and jump to the tutorial. We are going to start with the styrofoam first because this has dry time. So preferably we paint it or you paint it first, let it dry while you are working with your petals. So that way it's more time efficient. So let's open this and we are going to paint the styrofoam ball. I usually use a bamboo skewer to hold, skewer it, hold it. So once you have skewered it, I will be holding it in place by adding hot glue. I am going to use a styrofoam, like a sheet of styrofoam, to hold it later once it's drying. So let us just paint this. For sure, I am going to coat this several times. Whatever also works for you, so just do that. Alright, so this is the first layer and I'll just let this dry. Later on, once this is dry, I'm going to add, another layer. While we are drying the center, or the styrofoam ball, we are going to cut our template. This is our template. We will be needing 6 petals. For this one, we are going to do double, sandwich the floral wire, just because this is very thin. Since we only have 6 petals, I think it's just prettier or better if we do double fabric for the petals. Since we need 6, we will be cutting 12 pieces or 12 shapes of this template. So and I forgot how many. It's been a while since I've made an organza flower. I've kind of focused on large paper flower standing version, so I think it was 4 pieces that I've stacked up, but to make this more efficient, we will be cutting multiple pieces at a time. So what we're gonna do here, I'm just going to size it up, but there, but I'm going to cut it here and then tear it. So this is how I usually tear the organza. We can make 4. We'll be making 4 pieces. Alright, okay. So I'm pinning the fabric so that it's easier to cut later. Or it will hold up the division while we trace it. Alright, so let's trace it. So once you have traced it, I'm just going to add pins. By the way, I forgot to mention, so if you notice, so I kind of extended this bit. So feel free if you just be cut here, or you can extend it like what I did. So it's up to you. Yeah, so after this, we are just going to cut. Feel free to add more pins. So we have a crease here. It won't really matter since we're gonna crumple it later anyway. But, for my peace of mind, I'm going to position it at the, bottom or the back of our petal. And this will go on top. Let's grab our floral wires and get started. So we are gonna use about 7 wire. If you have a thicker wire, you can just use like less, but for me, I'm gonna use about this many just because my wires are very thin. All right, so let's go ahead. So this is what I recommend. Attach like this part first and then let it, stick, let it cool down, let it, dry. And then you can go ahead and attach like the bottom half. And then once that is attached, you can continue with the other parts. So we're done with like the first layer. I will go ahead and cover, like add the second layer. If you prefer like just, one layer, this is perfect. So this is how like one layer looks like. So of course, honestly, the 2 layers would be more, we'll have more color, we'll have more saturation. It's up to you. If you're just doing this like for a personal event, then you can go ahead and just like, use just one. If you're doing like a lot, then of course I also suggest like just doing one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the middle first. So that way, it's already like anchored. Alright, so we are done with the first half. We are going to do like the other half. By the way, so this part, you can go ahead and twist it. There you go. We have 1 and we need 5 more. So go ahead and do the same procedure to the rest of the petals. The first layer on our styrofoam ball has dried, so I went ahead and painted another layer. This is basically our last layer. So we are done with the 6 pieces of petals. The next step that we are going to do, we are going to heat up or basically light up, fire up the edges. So like this. The purpose of this is for the fabric not to, tear apart. So in Tagalog, we call it nisnis. So it's like wag magnisnis yung tela. That's how we say it. But I don't know how to say it in English. The best thing that I can describe is the thread of the fabric not to tear up or tear apart. So it's like basically you're sealing up or cauterizing the edges. And it also kind of gives you like a more organic look. You basically have 2 options, or as of for now, 2 options that I can present or think of. So one is like lighting up the edges using a lighter. I think that's kind of wasteful, most especially with the gas of the lighter. So what I usually do is light up a candle, and that's what I use to light up the edges or fire up the edges. So as you can see, this too, we just crunched it up. It does give a nice texture compared to the one that we didn't scrunched up. It's minimal. If you want to add more texture like this, we are going to heat it up using a heat gun. When using a heat gun, always wear safety gloves. I'm using the lowest setting here. Organza fabric is super thin, so don't heat it for too long or it will melt like this. Now let us proceed in making our center, like the styrofoam. We'll be needing 6 pipe cleaners. So I'm using yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. We can either do 6 or 8, or you can either do 6 or 8. Yeah, let's do 8. Let's do 8 because the sample that I already have is 6. That way you can, compare which is which or which is better. So I am just going to cover it like this. And let's start attaching it. Okay, and then this was the one that I poked earlier, so that's okay because we are going to cover that. Yep, that's the next step. I'm gonna put it here because I want to make sure that I cover this. And then, since we are doing 8, basically this space, we are just going to divide it by 2. Here, and then here. If you are going to use 6, then it's easier because you're just going to divide this in half. But since we are going to do 8, so this will be divided into like 3, sorry. I'm just eyeballing here. Yes. And this one we're going to attach it here. And then we are going to divide this into 2. And then same with this, we are just going to divide this into 3. So there you go. Let us just remove like the cobweb, hot glue cobwebs. And then there's a portion here that I kind of nicked out. So I'm just going to retouch this. Alright, so we are done with this. This is the one with the 8 pipe cleaners. This is the one, like our previous sample, the one that I previously did. It's with the 6 pipe cleaners. This has more detail, of course. This is easier, so it's really up to you. Once you are done with this, let us now proceed in making this part of the center. Let us now make our center. So I am using this foam sheet. So I just got this from Hobby Lobby. You can also get it from Michael's. What I will do is cut it in half. This, by the way, I think is 12 by 18. Yeah, 12 by 18 inches. And the pieces that I got from this half is enough to fill up the center. Sometimes more than enough. If you're just going to make one, then once you cut pieces from this, you're good for a piece, for one piece. So I cut it in half so it's easier to cut. I would divide this into 3. So 1, 2, 3. Next, divide this half into 3 equal parts as well. And then I'll cut this, and then you can cut this together. So I leave about like an inch to half an inch. And then this cutouts, do not throw this away because we cannot use it. And then I'll cut this in half. Just make more of these, you know, until you finish like this whole sheet. And then after that, we are going to go ahead, heat it up so we can twirl it. Again, do not forget to wear safety gloves. I'm still using the lowest setting for the heat gun. I usually heat up the sheet first, then twirl the strips together. You can untangle them right away or later on. For the individual strips, you can bundle them up and heat and twirl them together. Once all the strips are twirled, it's time to attach them to the ball. I am attaching them to this part at the bottom of the ball so the strips look longer. Keep attaching the strips until the entire ball is covered. You can also add individual strips to any areas that look like they need more coverage. Now it is time to assemble our organza poppy. So we have our center right here, and I've divided the petals. So these are the better ones and these are the damaged ones. When I've tried to heat it up to crumple it up, there's a bit of damage somewhere in there. Like this one, for example. I mean, it might not be that visible in the camera, but I'm just being conscious about it. So this will be like the bottom layer and this will be like the top layer. Since there's a big chance of the damaged areas being covered by the top layer. That's why, you know, the damaged ones, we are going to put it at the bottom. Honestly, when I have added like this portion, it kind of looked like it's narrow. I am going to fold like here in this area so the petals would look, you know, fuller. I'm going to start like covering up like here. It is really up to you. You can go and cover it or like start here. It's just that the petals would look like narrower, and with poppy, like their petals are like really, you know, wide. It's your personal choice. I'm just gonna like start here. And I am going to wrap around like this. So, you know, as you can see, the petals are like really wide. Yeah, so let's do that. I am going to put a lot of hot glue here. And cover wherever. You can also work like this. I am just going to make sure that it's spread wide like this. So, you know, my petals are like nice and fluffy. And let's start with the other one. So this is also the time where you can, you know, position your petals. Yep, there. I think that's perfect. Do you feel like it's looking a bit more of a poppy? Honestly, this is the easiest organza so far, organza flower so far. The peony is a bit, not really complicated, but you know, there's a lot more steps. I'm going to add glue. So it's going to attach. I'm going to cut like this portion a bit so I can like put it down a bit. Alright. So you can go ahead and, you know, adjust it the way you want. This one I'm going to attach it here. And this ones we are going to attach them, you know, in between. So we are going to work upside down. So I am going to place glue here at the middle, so this should hold up the petal. So this is our bottom. You can like put sepal, but I don't usually put sepal anymore because that's extra work, and honestly it can go like without. The size of this is like 2 inches by 4.5 inches, that's the width. I usually add hot glue to the end of the coupling, and then I push it further. Then add a bit more hot glue to secure it. Now here's our finished organza poppy. Thank you so much for watching. What do you think? Leave a comment, and please do like this video and subscribe to our channel. And watch out for more videos like this.